What is an imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome, IS, is a belief that you are not as competent as others perceive you to be. It's a feeling of self-doubt and a fear that others will view them as a fraud. Such people have an irrational fear that they are phony, may get exposed as a fraud, or they don't belong where they are, they got there through sheer luck and not capability, and so on. For example, if they receive good news like a new job or a promotion, instead of feeling joy they become worried that they didn't deserve it. Symptoms of imposter syndrome. Some of the common signs of imposter syndrome are self-doubt and an inability to realistically assess your competence and skills. Attributing your success to external factors and not your contribution. Berating your performance even though it is good or excellent. Fear that you won't live up to your own or others' expectations. Overachieving. Sabotaging your own success. Setting very high goals and feeling disappointed when you can't accomplish them. Imposter syndrome is not to be taken lightly as it comes at a cost of high and constant anxiety. You might over-prepare or work much harder than necessary to ensure that you pass when such extra effort is not required. This creates a vicious cycle and you start believing that the only reason you passed an exam or prepared some report was that you slogged for days and weeks and rehearsed endlessly. The more you accomplish, the more you just feel like a phony. It's as though you still can't accept that you are good or efficient even when you are good and efficient more than your peers. Eventually, these feelings worsen anxiety and may lead to depression. Identifying imposter syndrome. This syndrome is not a mental disorder. Everybody experiences this syndrome several times in their lives. To identify if you have is ask yourself the following questions. Do you agonize over even the smallest mistakes or flaws in your work? Do you attribute your success to luck or outside factors? Are you sensitive to mild or even constructive criticism? Do you always fear that you will inevitably be found out as a phony? Do you downplay your expertise even when you are genuinely more skilled than others? Types of imposter syndrome. Practically everyone experiences some degree of imposter syndrome, but very few reveal it to others to avoid embarrassment. Dr. Valerie Young, who has done extensive studies on imposter syndrome, identifies 5 types of imposter syndrome. By studying these types you can find out which group you fall into and take the necessary steps to overcome your imposter feelings. The perfectionist. These are folks who strive for perfectionism and create very high standards for themselves. And if they fall even slightly short of reaching those standards, they consider themselves total failures. The expert. These folks must know everything there is to know about their subject field and are endlessly increasing their knowledge to validate their expertise. They strive to be the know-it-alls. They are also reluctant to ask questions because they feel it will make them look unintelligent or uninformed about their work. The natural genius. Such folks possess an inherent talent in their field, which results in success coming easy to them. But during instances where they have to struggle to accomplish their goals or fail to achieve them, they suffer from feelings of perceived fraudulence about their efforts or work. The soloist. These folks people like to do everything on their own, because they feel asking others for help makes them appear incompetent. Their self-worth often depends on their productive output. They believe they are less worthy if they share their workload. The superwoman, superman. These folks push themselves to the brink to be viewed as high achievers, even though it causes high stress and burnout. They are workaholics and are addicted to the validation that comes from their hard work and accomplishments. Ways to overcome imposter syndrome. Acknowledge it. Consciously become aware that you are experiencing imposter feelings. Question your doubts and negative thoughts instead of letting them control you. If your thoughts don't help in increasing your confidence, then discard them, as dwelling on them will only make you mentally and physically sick. Reframe your thoughts. Train yourself to think like a non-imposter by reframing your negative thoughts. This involves altering your perspective to give it a more positive meaning. For example, if you are thinking, "This job is overwhelming," you could reframe that thought as, "I can accomplish this if I break it down into small tasks and handle one task at a time." Document compliments. Criticism tends to stay with you longer than praise, which can contribute to feelings of low self-esteem. To counteract this, learn to consciously enjoy the compliments you receive from others, even if they are mild. You can document all the compliments you received from various sources, and the next time you start to feel like an imposter, you can boost your self-confidence by reading them again. Share with a friend. One of the best ways to overcome imposter syndrome is to realize that you are not the only person feeling it. Everyone feels like a fraud at some point in their life. Find a good friend, family member, or coworker and share how you are feeling. You will learn that they also experience similar thoughts and may help to overcome your negative feelings by sharing their methods or experiences. Now let us listen to some famous quotes. Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win, by fearing to attempt. William Shakespeare. The worst enemy to creativity is self-doubt. Sylvia Plath. If you hear a voice within you say you cannot paint, and then by all means paint and that voice will be silenced. Vincent Willem van Gogh. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Susie Kassem. Erase self-doubt by working to build your strengths instead of focusing on your weaknesses. Rodolfo Costa. You are so much stronger than you realize. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you're not. Not even to yourself. J.W. Lin. As soon as you begin to love yourself, the war within will end. Laura Chuet. Stop thinking about what they're thinking about you. Caleb Jack. Doubt destroys more dreams than defeats. Amit Kalantri. Doubt is a thief of the soul. Andrew Davenport.